Timeout talk.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another weekly edition of Timeout Talks with Ben and Josh, streaming on the one and only Minifan Network, Facebook. We are also on Twitch, and we are on YouTube on the Minifan Network. Timeout Talks is brought to you by Chase & Dill's custom t-shirts and accessories, the Ice Shaker, Make It Mac, and of course, we are proudly a part of the Kirk Minahan Show Network and the Minifan Network within that barstool umbrella there. Josh, alongside Ben, we've got, a pretty good show tonight. Here we go. Jameson in here. Don't worry. I'll let you guys, and I'll let Ben take it. I'll let the comments kind of dictate how you guys are feeling.
We knew he was going to be here, Josh.
Yeah. You had to figure. If they didn't win, who knows? I'm just kidding, Jameson. But hey, the floor is yours, Ben. Just an absolute display for the Philadelphia Eagles this weekend.
Me and Josh talking before the show. We knew Jameson being there. We got to give him his shine, and all the Eagles fans. Yeah, they owed us. They pretty much owed everybody money after that one. The Chiefs, I had nice little winnings on that too. Not gonna lie. You can't root for the Chiefs, so gotta root for the Eagles. But Josh, it was just a lot to talk about in that game, but it was just kind of boring a little. I'm going to throw one of those out there. We're going to look at everything, but a little boring. I thought the Chiefs make a little contest out of it. I know there was a bunch of right there, too. They didn't even blitz him, Josh, and they got about 6 sacks on him. He's just scrambling for his life that whole time. It's kind of crazy to me. I honestly thought they blitzed him a bunch. Now I'm hearing that statistic that they literally did not blitz him once. That's just kind of absurd to me. That Chiefs got a real problem with the offensive line. I think that's going to be a big sort of off-season problem for them to address along with the running back position, Josh. But hey, Xavier Worthy was looking good too. But Josh, it was just that's going to be one of the first things I'm going to say. I'll be a little Debbie Downer about it. A little boring. Mahomes is supposed to be this great guy, and I'm not questioning it. I'm not taking anything away from him. He's obviously right up there with Brady and Montana and some of those greats already. Still got a long ways to go, but there was no fight. There was no fight, as Jameson's pointing out. Yeah, Mahomes took a while to get going. It just wasn't, inciting anybody. It wasn't getting this offense going. They just looked dead out there. Him and Kelsey didn't connect on that third and fourth in the first couple drives, so that set them back. So we're on the same page. Obviously, D-Hop had that big drop at the end of the second quarter, right before halftime. That could have maybe changed the momentum, but Josh, Mahomes wasn't there. Not a bad Super Bowl prop, I guess, but I was honestly surprised, Josh, from the effort. I know everyone's gonna come after the Chiefs as a whole, but I was surprised at Mahomes, Josh. I was surprised at Mahomes and his performance there, and I thought it'd be better. Honestly, I thought he'd show a little more fight.
Yeah, Ben, it's, just reading the comments here, Jameson, good for you. You should be happy, man. You guys thought this, you guys thought that. Jackson's comment is exactly what we witnessed. It is, I said it on the show, and I'm not going to do the whole, I was right about this thing, I was completely wrong. I thought it was going to be a close game. The Philadelphia Eagles took their lunch money. They dominated them. Ben, we talked last week about the better defense, the better offense. They were better everywhere. They were ready to go from the get-go. Driving, no problem. Defense, no problem. Special teams, Cooper DeJean. Everybody talks about that pick six for sure. That changes the game. That's a huge momentum shifting. Not even momentum. That's a momentum building moment. But aside from that, a bunch of great punt returns. He was a candidate, very sneaky candidate. In the special teams department as well. That kind of gets overshadowed by those picks, but I mean, as Marianne saying, the Eagles kind of just wanted it more, and Jameson's right. I mean, he said he was going to be a blowout. There's levels to the NFL. Yeah, there's so many comments pouring in here. Nelson, KC abandoned the run way too early. Jeff makes me think the Rams could have won the Super Bowl. Hey, we forget about that. That was a close game. Obviously, as the old saying, shout out Anthony Scarfo here, any given Sunday. But I mean, that it gives me shades of the last time we saw Patrick Mahomes lose in the Super Bowl. It reminded me so much of that Bucs game where, from rip, it's just domination on the defensive line. The Eagles had their number. And at some point, it was just as Jameson kind of alluded to, like, when was Patrick Mahomes going to get it over the 50-yard line? When were they going to score a point, Ben? And for me, the moment where they really kind of just let it go, and the real point that I would harp on, if I'm a Kansas City Chiefs fan, was that turnover that Jalen Hurts threw in the red zone. That was their moment. I'm pretty sure it was Cook. The number 6, the safety there for the Chiefs. I don't know his first name, but he had a game-changing moment. Now's your chance. You're only down 7-0, I believe, at that point. Either way, you score there. It's still a one-score game. I mean, you got to think, I don't know. You got to think that was a blundered moment. And, just from the very beginning, I know this was a rematch game for Jalen Hurts, and, a good amount of those Philadelphia Eagles played against Patrick Mahomes in that Super Bowl. But I think you said this last week, and you couldn't have been any right. Like, you look at the Philadelphia Eagles from that past Super Bowl to this Super Bowl, they just got better talent. They circled this game, Ben, and it looked like that from the very beginning. And one thing you kind of talked about here too, and I kind of want to turn it back to you on, is all this talk in the media, and this is what we do. I mean, as a Cowboys fan myself, I know about it. The media, the three-peat, the GOAT, the this. I mean, James put a good little stat in there too. Like, Tom Brady's lost by a combined 15 points in the 2 or 3 Super Bowls that he's lost in his career. Patrick Mahomes getting absolutely obliterated. I mean, this team just never showed up from the very beginning. The Eagles dominated them. I mean, tip of the cap to them. As a Cowboys fan, I'll say it. I'm happy for Jalen Hurts. I'm happy for Devontae Smith to get the first touchdown as an Alabama wide receiver. I like my Alabama guys. Tip of the cap to him. But from the very beginning, Ben, they dominated this game, and it just makes you wonder, like, I mean, the GOAT talk's got to be done, and I'm going to turn it to you with this, but is this finally the downfall of the Kansas City Chiefs, Ben?
No, not yet, Josh. Not yet. And that's a good point for me right at the end of that one. It's maybe let's turn the conversation away from the GOAT. Maybe he's going to chase Montana first. Maybe he's going to get past him. We kind of anointed him a little, already with Brady and everything. And he didn't even get past Montana. There's levels to this. As Jameson pointed out in the NFL, here we go. He's always we gotta let him pick. We gotta let him pick on Josh just today. So. I didn't realize that either. So
I never knew that. I don't even know if that's true.
Yeah, I was about to say Jameson's throwing a lot at it, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe we'll look up at that one after. But Dylan's spot on right there. It's just what happens. I mean, the Chiefs really got lucky. This luck to a degree, Josh. But I mean, blocking that field goal against the Broncos. So many. The rest of those one possession games, I can't think of it off the top of my head. I'm not a Chiefs fan. It was bound to happen, and the weaknesses were exposed. And Mahomes is getting older. Kelsey's, obviously Mahomes still in his prime and everything, but Kelsey's getting older. Some of these go-to guys, Tyreek Hill's obviously been gone, but I mean Kelsey, not the same. Xavier Worthy looked good in this one, but still he's kind of fragile. He hasn't really proven himself, and you start to look at his offensive line, and Mahomes really doesn't have anything to work with. He's got Juju. Diop just retired. Everybody, including myself, I won't lie. Here we go. Yeah, come after me too, Jameson. He was doing too much on Josh. Come after me too, Jameson. It's all right. That one hurts. That one actually really hurts. I really wish that would really solve a lot of problems for the Steelers right now. But Mapletron seemed like a good move at the time. Obviously not, but that's a tough one. Mapletron. I like that one. Solid work from Jameson right there, but I think this one really just showed you that Kansas City needs a little mini rebuild, Josh. Mini rebuild. You still got everything. Obviously, Mahomes is there. That's all you really need. Andy Reid, as long as you have those two going, you're going to be in contention. But he needs some weapons. He needs an offensive line that's not going to false start every time throughout the regular season, and just guys to protect him. Creed Humphrey's all right, but besides that, it's really kind of nobody. And they haven't really had any draft capital or built any draft capital towards that. They haven't really done anything for him. They've kind of just said, hey, we got Patrick Mahomes. He's going to do his magic, and he's been doing it so far, and it finally got up to them with this Eagles team that you outlined, Josh, was just from defensive line to wide receivers to offensive line to cornerbacks. They were just better in every category, and they proved it. They proved it right there. As I said, I wish the Chiefs showed a little more fight. Mahomes, kind of dejected on the sideline. I think that kind of separates him and Brady as much as I hate to say it. I don't want to give either of them credits, but Mahomes. I lost a little respect for him on that one. Brady kind of still elevated himself a little on there. He's just, there we go. I kind of forget who their GM is. But they need to start over. Kansas City, not start over, just a mini one. You got Mahomes. You just need to build around him because Xavier Worthy, Juju, is not going to cut it. It's not going to cut it. Xavier Worthy. He's going to be good, maybe, but you just got to get some other pieces around him. D-Hop failed experiments. Noah Gray. Are we really going to rely on Noah Gray? I like that Bills one, to be honest. I like the Bills. I'm not going to root for the Ravens, but I like the... I like that from Mike, too. I appreciate that from Mike. Jameson's right, too. I was just reading some of those comments. I was getting caught up on the comments. But yeah, that's a good point from Jameson too, right? He's a gadget player. Mahomes needs somebody else to go along with and to start this offense up because Kelsey, he's not there anymore. No, I never said that, and that's a lie. I never said that.
Yeah, Ben. I mean, to answer the question on the bottom here, I think in a way it is. There's only it's never been done in sports a three-peat. You look at what the Patriots did. People forget. 2001, 2003, 2004. They skipped 2002 there. And then they went 10 full years without a Super Bowl win. And again, greatest dynasty of all time. I'm not trying to have all these Patriots fans come at me in the comments, but I think that this, in a way, is the downfall. As Dylan mentioned, you're tied to that money for Patrick Mahomes. Again, I do want to supplement it with this. You have Patrick Mahomes. He's the greatest player in the league right now, the best player in the National Football League right now, hands down. It's undisputed. It's not for debate. I know the MVP was Josh Allen. He's knocking on that door, but he's not the best. It is for sure Patrick Mahomes. And as long as you have Patrick Mahomes, you're going to compete. Then I think that this team is going to compete. They're going to make the playoffs next year. They're going to make the playoffs the year after. But I do think they're going to take a step back from winning a championship. Whether they get there again, maybe I'm wrong. I was wrong this past weekend, but I think that, as you've mentioned and you touched upon as well here too, they have a lot of holes. Like the running backs, I like Isaiah Pacheco, but he's battling some injuries, and that's kind of something that they didn't do. I talked about this earlier. I know Nelson mentioned this. They needed to run the ball well. That was their identity all season. They completely abandoned it, Ben. They were so predictable. They basically said, you know what? We're going to force your guys to step up. We know you guys can't run the ball better than us. We have a better defensive line. We know our corners can pretty much guard your guys too. And let's force somebody to make a play. That's not Travis Kelce or your running backs. And that's essentially what the Eagles did. They big broed them, whatever you want to call it. But, back to my point here, I think that this is the downfall of the Kansas City Chiefs in the sense that we're not going to see them win a ring for a little bit. Yes, they're going to be in contention. They're still going to be floating around the AFC Championship. They're still going to be, maybe they make another Super Bowl appearance. But I do think that they're going to take a little bit of a step back. As you've mentioned, Ben, they're getting older. They're losing arguably one of the best, if not the best tight end of all time in some people's eyes. Their defense is kind of plug and play. As, Jameson has mentioned, they've kind of missed and touched upon here with the Worthy stuff. They've got a lot of gadget players that there's just a lot of holes that it's almost like the ironic saying, like you're trying to patch the ship, all these holes, and the holes just keep getting bigger and bigger. And, it was just too much to patch at once. And Yeah, Dylan, I'm not. I agree. Gronk is better, but in their eyes, the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, that's a big loss. But I think that the holes are just too big to patch, Ben, and they've got a lot of issues. And starting with the biggest ones that there is in the National Football League is the offensive line. And Philadelphia Eagles, they're going to hang around. I mean, they're going to be a thorn in our back in the NFC East to come forward. So Jameson, you know that, but no, now we're just getting a little wild with this here. But I mean, yeah, I mean, Charlie thinks they'll be fine, but I do think we'll see a step back for the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll see a step back for sure.
Oh yeah, of course. And as you said, Josh, teams are starting to figure them out a little and everything, so they got to reinvent themselves just a tad. But as Chi said, and like I said, I said that point earlier, so Chi maybe heard me, maybe that Chi was copying me a little on that one. But as long as they have Mahomes and Reed, they're fine. They're going to be in contention. It's just how far are they going to go now? They got to start getting some of these other gadget players. They got to get some of those Tyreek Hills and Travis Kelce's back in their primes again. And Mahomes can turn some of these players a little better than they actually are. That's what happens when you're the best quarterback in the league. As you said, I'll still give it to him over Josh Allen. Josh Allen has to prove it to me. Shout out to Jared on that one. They got to go to Arrowhead and win. He's got to. He should. They honestly should. Dump him like a beanbag. I agree with that, Chi. But for the Chiefs, they got to go. They got to go through the draft, Josh. I don't think they have the cap right now, so unfortunately, they got to go through the draft. They're just going to hit some of these guys. It's get some weapons for him. Receiver, pretty good receiver class. So get Mahomes another weapon. Maybe get a free agent offensive line and go from there. And like you said, the Eagles are going to be here for a long time, but they got some big free agents too, Josh. They got Micah Becton, all their linebackers, Zach Bond, Josh Sweat.
Great year for Bond. Didn't mean to cut you off.
I'm blanking on, but there's Brandon Graham. Oh yeah,
I think he'll.
That was great year for him. We highlighted that one throughout this whole year.
No, sorry, I was just saying Brandon Graham might hang up his hat there. But
yeah,
I mean, I would.
Someone there, but Brandon Graham too. Oh yes. No, I was a little lag in there. The lag's getting a little to me, but it's all right. We'll power through the lag.
The lag's getting to me. I love it. Yeah, I mean, and just to Ben's point here, they are the 9th lowest team in salary cap with only, and this is a very hard copy. They can still move stuff around, but $11 million on the cap. So that's something to keep in mind if you're the Kansas City Chiefs. And I thought so, Dylan. I thought, great. He had his big Super Bowl sack. I mean, 2 Super Bowl rings, 3 Super Bowl appearances. I mean, he's for sure a Philadelphia Eagle Hall of Famer. I'm not quite sure on the all-time Hall of Famer, but great player. And I agree, Dylan. Free agency is going to be fun. And Nelson, I haven't seen this. I would definitely don't want that. I'd rather take hobbled Dak Prescott than Aaron. I don't want nothing to do with Aaron Rodgers now. I mean, yeah, I would hate that, but welcome in, David. You didn't miss too much. We're talking downfall of the Kansas City Chiefs, and we are also talking about the Eagles winning Super Bowl LIX, and Cowboys. They got some decent amount of cap to figure out, but we'll talk about them another time. Sticking to kind of just this theme of the Super Bowl, Eagles, they finally did it, and this is exactly what I wanted to get to. I mean, the whole thing, dude. The halftime show was terrible. SZA's mic wasn't even on, which is hilarious. Kendrick Lamar he didn't even play a lot of his good songs. I did not a big fan of that. The bell-bottom jeans, I don't know what was going on there. Just the whole production of it. The only thing that I liked of the Super Bowl in terms of production, and everybody's going to laugh at this, is the scoreboard. I mean, I know it got a lot of crap, but I liked it. It was generic. It, caught my attention. It wasn't too much. It was very kind of contradictory for me to say because I've kind of complained about, less is more or less is better lately in terms of logos and, advertising. I usually hate that, but I liked it this time. So that was the halftime show was terrible. yeah, I wasn't a big. I would give it like a 4.9 if I had to. But that's just me. Maybe I'm wrong on that. But
That was all right. Hey, it was all right, Josh. The scoreboard,
I
yeah, it
liked
was
it.
a little
I
too.
was getting
I
crap
agree with
for it
Jameson on
too.
that one. A little too big for me, but yeah. I mean, to be honest, I really had no opinion on it either. I mean, I kind of now thinking about it is a little too big. Here we go. Timmy saying
Let's
it was
go.
perfect. There we go. I mean, hey, listen, the halftime show, it was all right though. I mean, it's just it's got to be a little more entertaining. It's got to be a little more entertaining. Uh, I don't know, Kendrick was good and everything, but I agree, Josh. It was just I don't know. There hasn't been a good one in a while. I can't remember the last good halftime show. It was
I'm
very
gonna
it was just very bland. Bland.
I'm gonna go on a hot take here. And it might not even be a hot take because we
Oh,
know where this
here we
is
go.
going. Drake may have lost the battle, but I know for sure he would have put on a better Super Bowl halftime show. I can triple down on that. So, but yeah, Ben, I wasn't crazy
Here we
for it. I
go.
wasn't crazy
Here
for
we
the
go.
production either. Some
Yeah,
interesting.
well,
I'm not going to get into the
that's
controversy stuff of it, but some interesting stuff that they kept doing that I thought was kind of disrespectful. But that's for another day.
that's for another day. But no,
Ooh, Ben. Oof. That's a real take. I don't like
I never
that.
said that. I never said that. It's I mean, yeah, that's just totally two different things. Two different things. I never said that, but both are very solid. But no, I'll take the buffalo chicken dip over the French. Yeah,
Sorry,
here we go.
Ross.
Oh, he's trying
I
to get him.
can't. I
Here we go.
can't do
He's
it.
trying
I
to get
can't
him
do
to
it.
explain on that one. But yeah, no, French onion dip is solid though. Uh, well, yeah. To be honest, that was probably the best part about the Super Bowl, the food. And
Agreed.
everything else, the commercials. Yeah, I didn't really see any commercials I like, Josh. I don't know about you. I didn't really notice any. I mean, there was obviously some good ones. There was that Nike Women's one that was good. Uh, but I just, oh, here we go. Here we go. This bandwagon the Philly. No, you can't do that. You can't do that, Jameson. But it was a tough one for Josh to root for in the Super Bowl. Kind of, he had to take the Chiefs. No, here we go. But, yeah, do you want to give an answer? Do you want to give an answer on that one?
Let's just say they. How do I go about this? The tribute to the Nola Strong stuff was very nice. I liked it. I just thought there was some production broadcasting stuff that was disrespectful a little bit or getting a little weird. But I thought it was very nice. I liked Lady Gaga's performance as well too. But I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I don't. To be honest, I wasn't really paying attention too much. I was.
Agreed. Ross, I
Game
agree.
was a blocker. Yeah, worst overall Super Bowl. Yeah, it was pretty bad. It's pretty bad. I think we'll remember this one just like the other Chiefs loss. Here we go. Jameson's on one today. He's always shout out Jameson, but yeah, I think we'll remember this one about like that 49ers. Excuse me, the Tampa Chiefs one. That really kind of was a boring game. I don't really remember that one. This one will kind of get buried under the rug. It was boring. No good commercials. Halftime show. Game was,
Even
it wasn't even close, Josh. I mean, like you said, you pointed out the only sort of glimpse of hope for the Chiefs where that pick. I mean, that was when we were like, hey, all right, maybe we'll get something going, and they faltered
and it
again.
was it.
So that was it.
And I get like again, you can't. I'm not gonna be that guy. Like you can't like. I'm not gonna be the guy who says, "Oh, the Super Bowl sucked because the game." Like they got outclassed, they got outbeat. But like even the like walkouts were bland. It was just like bass in the background. The teams didn't come out to a song. Like and talk about a corporate crowd. Like no type of like buzz at all. Like during the like game, like when like a big play would happen, you just hear the bass like in the background. You don't even really like hear the crowd. Like obviously the Super Bowl, it's going to be a corporate crowd, but like I just thought the whole thing, the production was very weird. Like the walkouts, that was like a big thing. Like now it was just you couldn't even hear anything. Like yeah, Tom Brady's mic seemed low. I thought Kendrick's mic seemed low. Not that that's his problem, but I mean, just a lot of weird stuff. I'd give it, yeah, just in terms of the Super Bowl and Ben, like you said. I mean, to cut you off, but yeah, I can't think of one good advertisement. I feel like they've been kind of struggling for the past few years, but yeah, just very mid lackluster Super Bowl.
That's another good point too. Brady. in his first Super Bowl. He went up Pat stink again. There we go. And just another. I mean,
Jack.
Brady wasn't even that bad, but it was just kind of.
Just throwing another one at you, Ben.
I mean,
Mid statement.
hey, listen, we eventually kind of lost to the champs, in a way. There was a way we lost to them, so I like that little sort of correlation right there. That can make me sleep a little better at night. But Jameson, you can take this one. We'll give you the victory parade. He deserves it. Eagles, best team in the league, and as we said, they'll be pretty good right over here, and hopefully he's the Pat Stink again can do that. Hopefully he can change his name. But that was another interesting question, Josh. I heard from 98.5. Everyone's saying if Drake May's career can be panned out just like Jalen Hurts, would that be a success? And I think that would be
For sure.
Yeah. I don't know why some people were saying no. They said no. It must be better than that. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, 98.5, but
I don't get the Jalen Hurts hate.
Yeah.
Like as a Cowboys fan, I don't get it. I mean, like even in the last Super Bowl, Ben, look at his stats. He didn't blow the game for the Eagles by any standard. The only playoff game I looked to say, oh, Jalen Hurts didn't really have that good of a performance was when they played. I'm pretty sure it was the Bucks, but he didn't have Devontae Smith yet. I'm pretty sure they didn't have AJ Brown. I don't know. The hate for Jalen Hurts is very unwarranted. I think for sure top 10 quarterback, easy. I know Jerry was giving me crap when I was trying to say top 6, top 7.
I'll throw him top 5.
I that's what I said. I said that for a Hooters UFC night, and I got crap for it. So I don't know. I like him. I mean it's not his fault. They built the team around him. I mean, hey, another credit there to Jeffrey Lowry.
No, that's a good point. And there's another one right there with the draft. That's where you get these guys. I mean, we got
not over Burrow and Allen.
Come
on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's probably 4. I'll give him 5, 4 or 5, and then we got to throw Lamar in there. I mean, definitely after Sunday. Yeah, definitely after Sunday solidified that. Yeah, here we go. These guys, Patriots stink again, riling everyone up with that. I mean, the Eagles. Yeah, the Eagles. They got the right plan right now. They got it. They got the right plan. And as Pat stink again, you gotta get these guys. You gotta keep these guys. You gotta pay them. I mean, AJ Brown is gonna need some money. Saquon, you already got him, but I mean, that was my other point too. I mean, Laurie's done it from the draft. I mean, all these guys: Quinn Mitchell, Jordan Davis, Nolan Smith, Devontae Smith. Jalen Carter. Obviously, Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. A little easier picks when you're in the top 5, but I mean, you hit on some of this. Trust me, there's plenty of busts out there. Cooper DeJean. I mean, they got this whole defense in solid parts. I mean, AJ Brown from a trade with a draft pick. They've built from the draft, and that's how you got to do it. And I think that's why they're going to be able to sustain this team and keep it going. And no, that's not going to happen, Jeff. That's not going to New England. New England's a tough destination right now, except for Drake May. Drake May's pretty appealing. Give me Martin Truex Jr. Give me that's for that David Batista one. Batista. Here we go. Listen, for my fantasy team, I love that, Josh. I love that one. Daniels, Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, May. But I don't know. Daniels is getting there. We got to watch him.
The comments just flying in here.
Yeah, no. Listen, everyone's having a little fun with that. Those guys are staying. They're saying, "Here we go." Colin just wants that one answer.
Way too early.
Just because he drafted,
like
he drafted Saquon. He wants that. He wants that shine, but no. I wouldn't draft Saquon that high. I don't know. Actually, that'd be a tough pick. That's way too early, Josh. That's way too early to. I can't even think about fantasy right now. That's way too early. Thank you, Dave. I knew you liked that one.
Wow, we are flying with the. I could see that. You don't see this?
He's done, Josh. No, I mean, you just got rid of an old, kind of immobile quarterback. His arm's gone. You just got rid of that guy. Just what are you going to bring in another guy like that? And don't even give me Rodgers to the Steelers. I don't want that. They've got us drafting Jackson Dart already. So
Jameson just full
that is a good point. That's a good point.
pressure.
I would honestly fade that. I didn't do too well in fantasy this year, so honestly, that's a good fade. I wouldn't. No harm, no foul on that. I went Jameson. That's smart from you. But no,
We're gonna switch.
Stop,
No, go ahead.
stop,
Go ahead.
Josh. No. I was just gonna say quarterback's just a little tough for me right now. If we're looking at Jackson Dart for the Steelers, it's a little tough for the quarterback situation. But I digress.
That's the one thing you need in the National Football League to get pretty far. So, one thing kind of just. Oh, look at this! Got a little beef going on in the. we got a little beef going on in the chat here, but this was we'll go quick. We'll go back a little bit more to NFL in a second, but just want to sprinkle this in here. My guy taking down Sean Strickland. I mean, UFC 312. Ben was able to see the co-main a little bit more extensive than I was, but Dricus Duplessis doing what he does best. I mean, Ben, I have to start here. I'm so happy he left champion. I've been a huge Dricus fan for months. I mean, maybe even going on years here. But Sean, I'm going to say a couple things. Sean Strickland, I don't like him as a human. I think he's extremely overrated. I mean, we were talking today at work. I mean, his claim to fame is taking down Israel Adesanya, which of course that's a great claim to fame. But I mean, this is also the Israel Adesanya on the downfall. You can make. That's his claim to fame. I think Sean Strickland is super overrated. He got walked down like a dog. Broken nose and everything. Then after the fight, he's flipping him off. I know people are trying to say it's a friendly thing. I can't stand him. Even in the debates, he gets owned by Dricus as well. If you saw the one of the debates that they had, or one of the media days, I think Dricus just absolutely shut him down. But I will say this: I love Dricus, but if he matches up with Hamzat, I'm a little worried about that. I'm just going to throw that one out there.
Here we go, Jameson. We just spent half an hour on it.
Jameson, I told you we're going to spin back. Jameson, we're going to spin back.
We just got to give this one. That was a pretty good comment. Yeah, this one made me laugh. That was a pretty good one. I like that. I like that from Jameson. Hey, I'm a 3-time champ. Most in the league, so I'm going to throw that one at Jameson. But yeah, Josh, this one, I mean, Dricus ended this debate, ended this rivalry. It's over. Strickland, I don't believe he's going to be getting any more title chances anymore. It's just done. He had his chance. He had his interim belt. It was cool for a little while and everything, but he's just got that jab. He's just got a solid jab. He's a warrior. Obviously Josh has a little more disdain. I don't like him, but I
hate him.
But he's just kind of irrelevant to me. He's whatever. Sometimes he can be funny. Sometimes he's just stupid, so you got to ignore him. But he's a solid jab. He's got great cardio, and he can just put up a fight. He's not going to go down. He's going to go all 5 rounds. You saw him with that broken nose. I would have been crying and maybe even just passed out. Obviously, most of these normal people, but you got to give him some toughness on that one. But after this, I mean, Dricus, as Josh said, walked him down. He just picked him apart. Strickland couldn't figure him out at all. Dricus won every round, and he proved, hey, 2-0 in the rivalry. It's over. That we can put that to bed. Strickland is going to be sort of back to, this kind of guy that you got to pass. I'm forgetting on the wording, but sort of the gatekeeper of the division. You got to beat him to get to the champ. I think he's going to settle into that role. It's just he's had his time for the belt, much like Dustin Poirier. It wasn't a shot or anything. I was just saying Dustin Poirier. He's going to be like a gatekeeper now. He's had his time, had his moments. Same with Strickland. But it's done on this one. You can't. I mean, Dricus, he just picked him apart. It wasn't a good fight. Look at that. I just give him bonus points for toughness because that nose was brutal. That nose was very brutal. But Dricus, me, Josh saying before the show, our guy, the champ, possibly fighting Alex Pereira. That was a possibility. I think they tweeted. They had some exchanges on Twitter. It'd be an interesting fight. Because I'm kind of wondering what's next for Dricus in sort of that division. Alex Pereira obviously has a fight against Ankalaev. Kind of butchered that name.
Next card.
The Russian, yep, and the next big card. So we'll see after that. But I think Pereira will make easy work of that. And That'd be an interesting fight, Josh, to look out forward to. But shout out Zhang Weili too. She put down Tatiana Suarez. I know everyone's saying this Tatiana Suarez was the Khabib of the women's division. What I believe it's the straw weight or featherweight. I forget which one it is, but they were saying that she was the Khabib of that division. She was coming for her 11-0, and she won the first round. Just grappling her and everything, just taking her down, but got beat up in every single other round. Completely dominated. Got taken down herself. It was the first takedown that she's ever surrendered in the UFC. So yeah, I do call it like that one. It's a solid one. But that was a good fight too, Josh. Overall, the card was and
from the beginning. Yeah,
from the beginning, it was whatever. It was, but the last two fights delivered, so that was good. It was worth the money, and now we can get back to the NFL for Jameson. We can give him his.
Let's get
the last couple of minutes. Yeah, if he wants to, we got to get to that. It's in the show.
He's.
Here we go. Yeah, see, we had to give him some time to get his facts loaded up, but.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. I mean, I'm just going to say one thing. Jaden Daniels is the future of the NFL. I mean, LSU, shout out Dylan Kiley if you're watching. I mean, he was in the chat earlier. I mean, they just breed quarterbacks. So I will definitely harp on that. But, yeah, here we go.
I knew he would take that one to offense. But no, Jaden's still the future. He's not getting past that Eagles defense. Nobody's getting past that Eagles defense this year. Like I said, Jameson, you got to retain some of those guys. Brandon Graham. I was lagging at this time, but Brandon Graham, Josh Sweat, Zach Bond. I was blanking on him. All up in free agency. All their contracts. Micah Becton too. He was a big part of that offensive line over there from the Jets. He's up for. Another contract. Never forget that defensive end. Defensive end's up for a new deal. So the Eagles got replenished too. It's not as easy. It's not as copy and paste into the next season as easy as everyone thinks it's going to be. But they've got more of the pillars than any other team. They've got Hurts. They've got the weapons. They've got the majority of that defense intact. So, yeah, that's what, honestly, that's what it boils down to, Jameson. Do you want Zach Bond or do you want Micah Becton? Do you want that assurance on that offensive line? Maybe that's why Saquon was running so heavy and going, Hurts was having such a balanced year. Or do you want to keep that defensive leader over there who just kind of changed that defense? So it's not like the worst, decision to have for the Eagles. I wish I was in their, I wish I was in their sort of perspective. With the Steelers and everything, but I'd probably go Zach Bond, Josh. Zach Bond. You can go get another offensive line. Becton's has injuries in the past, so I'd probably go Zach Bond on that. He was incredible this year.
And for sure. I mean, you just said it too. I mean, you can go find another offensive line, and hey, look, they lost Jason Kelsey last year, and they didn't even skip a beat. And it was Ryan Juergens, their center. He was the one who switched. I thought it was Lane Johnson, but it was Ryan Juergens. So they were able to, they flit him right in there. We don't even know his name. It doesn't matter because he's doing his job. That offensive line, I think the biggest in Super Bowl history. They flashed a little panel thing for that too. So that's something to keep an eye out for.
Becton was like 6'7", 380. Sorry to cut you off, Josh.
No.
He's enormous, so it was pretty easy.
For sure. I mean, that's one of the biggest parts to having a great running game and having a good passing game and just being a great offense is having that good offensive line and best offensive line in the league for, however many years, the past few years. But whether it's Jaden Daniels or, Jalen Hurts, is going to be an interesting little battle there in that NFC East. Hopefully my Cowboys they got to do something to stick in place, but we'll see. I mean, I don't know. Dak Prescott and Jerry Jones got to figure out some contract negotiations to get some people to come here, and they got to nail it in the draft. Talk about Chiefs nailing it in the draft. They got to nail it in the draft. But, shout out DDP. We've got a big UFC 313 coming up March, so we'll have a couple weeks to get there. But a lot of stuff coming down the line. Ben and I talking. We're going to get to mock draft shows, of course. We're going to get free agency plans for both my team, his team. And, of course, we'll do a combined one for your New England Patriots. Maybe we'll even have James hop on for that one, for the Patriots free agency plan. Those are coming down the line soon. Of course, we're going to get back talking some basketball and some hockey, some Bruins and Celtics. I've got an interesting few little takes there. But as always, want to thank everybody. I mean, the chat was just booming tonight. So I want to thank everybody from Jameson all the way to Timeout Aaron for joining the chat here. If I didn't mention you, know who you are. You know your weekly people who stop in here, the weekly commenters that I absolutely love. So thank you guys for tuning in. And as always, I'm going to turn it over to Ben. Thank you for watching.
Appreciate it as always. A little bittersweet NFL ending over here, but let's keep those comments up with the NFL. Loved it today so far with it. Pat Stink again and Jameson. Keep it going. Get that Daniels over Lamar. I love that one, but let's keep those comments flowing without football. As Josh said, we'll get a little more Celtics Bruins takes in there, but we're going to keep them going as much as we can. Appreciate everyone as always, and fly Eagles fly.
Timeout talks. Timeout talks.